Hello. So you've probably created your DBT account and you're trying to set up your first project. So this tutorial is to show you how to connect DBT, Microsoft Fabric, to your DBT account. So we're going to name this project tutorial. Continue. And then we're going to set up our connection. So for here, we're going to add a new connection. And if you're going through DBT fundamentals, the connection that was used was snowflakes. So for this tutorial, we're going to be using Fabric. You can see there are a lot of connections that can be used, but we're going to be using Fabric here. Right. So I'm going to name the connection Fabric tutorial. So now we need to get our server and our database, and that's where we are going to go into Microsoft Fabric to do that. So once you're in Microsoft Fabric, you have to, it's advisable you create a new workspace, because if you have ever published a Power BI dashboard to Power BI service, you also know you have to publish it into your own workspace. So for this, I will advise you create a new workspace, and that is not that hard to do, which I've created already. So I name my workspace DBT, and you see there's a new warehouse here already created. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be creating a new data warehouse. Click on new item, click on warehouse, and I'm going to name it tutorial. All right, so it's going to take a minute for the warehouse to be up and running. Good. So your warehouse is up and running, and now we need to get the server and the database. So to do that, click on this gear icon, and you move to SQL endpoints. So SQL connection string. So this is your server in which DBT is going to get fed from your Microsoft Fabric. So you copy this, and then you paste it. Yeah. So your database is the name of your warehouse, data warehouse that you created in Microsoft Fabric, which is tutorial-warehouse. And then optional settings, you click save. Good. So you've created your connection, and you go back to the dashboard, click connection Fabric. Now is for you to connect to your Fabric warehouse. So there are two authentication settings or method that you can go with: Active Directly password or service principal. For this Active Directly password, it will not really work, because your accounts most likely be two-factor authenticated. So the best approach is for you to use service principal, and that I'm going to show you. So for you to get all these details in your service principal, you need to follow along and see how we're going to go about it. So first of all, you have to log into portal.azure.com. So that's where you're going to get your service principal details. So along. So for here, we're going to search for app registration. App registrations. It takes a minute. Good. So you create new application. Just name it, we're gonna name this one tutorial underscore DBT. Leave every other option as it is and click register. Good. So your application is up and running. Now we need to do some things to make sure that this service principle we just created is linked to you'll be able to get data directly from our Microsoft Fabric. So we're going to search for groups. All right. So all groups. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a security group. So I already created one, but I'll show you how I'm going to create a new group. So just click on new group and leave it as security. Let's name it DBT tutorial. You can put anything in your group description, anything you want, and owners. So obviously I'll be using your account as the owner of the group. It's taking a minute for it to load. All right, so my name is obviously Joshua. Select and members. So what you're going to be doing is for this group, you'll be adding your new app registration that you just created as a member of this group. So I'll search for tutorial underscore DBT. That was the app we just created. So that will be the new member for this group. Create. Good. So now we've done everything we need to do. We're still going to come back to Azure, but for now, let's go back to Microsoft Fabric and set some connections on. All right, so another thing we need to do is to add our service group to be able to have access to our workspace. So what we'll do is click on manage access. Add people or groups, and then we'll search for the security group we created, which is DBT tutorial. We'll give it an admin role and then we add it. What we're going to do now is you're going to go to your settings for Microsoft Fabric. You go to admin portal. Yes, you go to admin portal and then you search for API. All right, so what we need to go into is this developer settings. Service principal can create workspace. It's turned on already, but I'm going to add another group to it. Yeah, so my DBT tutorial group, I'm going to add this to it. It's going to take about 15 minutes for you to work, but that's no worries. Also, this is the most important. Service principal can call Fabric public API. We're also going to add our security group to it, dbt underscore tutorial, and then we're going to apply it. All right. So you're also going to you're going to make sure you add all the security group to all settings that requires API, such as the developer settings. You're going to add it here. Service principals can create workspace connections and deployment pipelines. You add it and apply. Service principals can call Fabric API, the one that is most important. You also apply it. And also, service principal can access read-only admin API. You also apply it, add it to it. And also, service principal can access admin API used for updates. So that's all. Now let's go back to Azure, and in our app, in the app that we created, you are going to grant it some permissions. We're going to grant it some permissions, manage and API permissions. All right, so we're going to add a new permission, and we're going to go into Power BI service, delegated permissions, and what we're going to search for is warehouse. We're going to look for warehouse. So we're going to grant it two permissions: warehouse execute all and warehouse read write all. So add these two permissions, and then you are good to go. So back to overview of our app registration that we need. So from here, we can already get, so from on DBT, we have to get the tenant ID, client secret, and our schema. So from our Azure, we can already get the client ID, which is this, the tenant ID, which is this, and client credential, which is to add the certificate of secret. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new secret. We'll create new client secret. You can give it any name. I'm just going to give it DBT tutorial, and dates, I'm going to just give it 3 months since this is just for a tutorial. I'm going to add the secret. So one thing you should know is your secret is going to show just once, and you need to copy it immediately and save it. If not, you will not be able to. You have to create a new secret whenever you need it. So I'm going to copy this secret now, and I'm going to put it there in our tutorial. Client's secret. So now back to app overview. We'll copy our client ID. The tenant ID. So now we need to get our schema, and that's what we're going to do in Microsoft Fabric. So back to our warehouse. So we're going to create a new query. And what we want to do here is that I want to grant this warehouse connection to our app registration, our app that would, our service principal that we just created in Azure. So what we're going to type here is grant connect to so the name of our operation was dbt underscore tutorial. No, it was just tutorial. Yes, let me confirm. Yes, tutorial underscore dbt. Yes. So tutorial underscore DBT, and then we're going to run it. So it runs successfully and it's good to go. So what we're going to do now is we are going to create our first schema in this new warehouse. We can see obviously there's a DBO there, but there's nothing inside, there's no table there. So I'm going to copy and paste this. I'm going to create a new SQL query, and then I'm going to paste this. I'm going to paste this. Good. So then we run this. And yeah, it works. We're good to go. So back to this, we're going to name our schema DBO as seen in our Microsoft Fabric. You can see DBO here. So we've created a new table in our DBO. Sorry, you have to first refresh. Yes, customer, order, and payment tables are already in our schema. So the next step to do is to leave everything as it is and just test connection. Okay, so the reason why this is not working yet is because it takes 15 minutes for our granted API in the admin portal should start working. So we're going to wait for 15 minutes and then we're going to try this again. So let's test the connection again. And now after the connection shows this green complete, we then save it. And now you are good to go. So the next thing you have to do now is to set up a repository we can connect to your GitHub, and that's it for now. Thank you.